chapter number 4, Animal Kingdom. In this Animal Kingdom, we are about the last part of this chapter that we were discussing the Tetrapoda. Tetrapoda means those animals which have a 4 limbs. They are called as a Tetrapoda. In this Tetrapoda, in the previous session, we have finished with class amphibians. And the rest of the class we will discuss today. So let's discuss the other classes which are falling under the class Tetrapoda. Okay. So what are the others? The first one today we are going to discuss is the reptiles. First we will discuss it's a reptiles. See what is called as a reptiles. Reptiles are the animals which shows a crawling movement. Okay. So they move by a crawling. With the help of their abdomen, they move, they crawl. As they are crawling, we are calling it as reptile. Because this reptile, it's a word that is derived from a Latin word. And the meaning of this is, it is a crawling. So that's why we are calling it as a reptiles. This is the most important characteristic which we are defining it as a reptile. Now let's discuss its other characteristic. The first one, it's a habitat. Where they can be found? Usually they are terrestrial, means they live on the land. But there are also few exceptions which can also be found in a water. But majority of them, they can be found onto a land. That's why we are calling it as a terrestrial. Okay? When we discuss its a characteristic is that, like in the previous session we have discussed that the skin of amphibian is a soft and the moist, because they live in both land and water. But here the characteristic of this, the skin of this reptile, that is a dry and it is a horny, or it consists of a cornified epithelial cells. So here the skin is dry. Okay, it is made up of cornified epithelial cells. They are made up of cornified epithelial cells, and it has a presence of scales or the scutes. Their skin possesses the scales and the scutes, and they are dry in nature. So they have a dry scales or the scutes. This is the characteristic you can find in them. Okay. There are also few animals which are falling under the reptiles. Their skins are such as that which is going to be shed off periodically. Okay, some animals shed off their skin periodically. Like for an example, you can say that in case of a snake, okay, in case of a lizard. So this is the characteristic you can find it in reptiles. Okay, so there are few animals, they shed off their skins periodically, like snake and the lizard. Okay, so this is the characteristic of a reptiles. Okay, so again repeat, what is the important characteristic? They have a crawling movement, they are the terrestrial habitat, their skin is dry. Okay, and that consists of a cornified epithelial cells. The skins possess the scales and the scutes. This is the important characteristic. Some animals, they shed off their skin periodically, like what we have observed in the case of a snake and the lizard. Okay, clear? The next most important thing is that they possess a limb. How many limbs are present? If they possess the limb, if the limb is present, then 4 limbs are present. How many limbs are present? 4 limbs. One pair has a 4 limb, the another pair has a hind limb. So total 4 limbs are present. So that's why we are calling it as Tetrapoda. But snake is an exception. It doesn't have 4 limbs. Okay, clear? So this is the characteristic. Now when we talk about its respiration, here they respire through the lungs. How they respire? They respire through the lungs. Okay. Next, when we talk about the ear, here the external ear opening is absent. but instead of external ear opening, here the ear is represented as tympanic membrane. Ear is represented as tympanic membrane. This is the characteristic which we can observe. Okay. Next, when we talk about its reproduction, how they reproduce. In the case of reproduction, here we can find the different characteristic. Like what kind of the characteristic we can find in the reproduction? Here the sexes are separate, means they are dioecious animal. They perform the sexual reproduction. The fertilization is internal. Fertilization is internal. Clear? The development, it is direct. Direct kind of a development is observed, and they are oviparous animal. Oviparous animals, that means they lay down the egg. This is the kind of a reproduction that is observed into reptiles. Okay. Next, when we talk about its a heart, circulatory system, they have a closed circulatory system, and the heart, like an amphibian, they have a 3-chambered heart. How many chamber heart? 3-chamber heart. Okay, that means which consists of 2 auricle and 1 ventricle. There are 3 chambers which consist of 2 auricle and 1 ventricle. So 3-chamber heart that is observed into the reptiles. But there is an exception. The exception is crocodile. Crocodile has 4-chamber heart. How many chambers of heart? 4-chamber heart. Crocodile is an exception. Crocodile is actually a reptile. So according to its characteristic, it should have a 3-chamber heart. But crocodile is an exception. It has a 4-chamber heart that consists of 2 auricles and 2 ventricles. So these are the characteristics that is observed into a class. You can say that reptiles. Okay, so that's all about it, reptiles. Now we are moving ahead with another class which is falling under the tetrapoda. It is aves. So let's say aves. Clear? So now we are going to start with the next class that falls under it. It's called as an aves. So if you see the aves are such that they have an aerial life. That means most of the times they are such that you can find them in the sky as a flying. So this is, they have an aerial life. Okay, so this is the characteristic you can find into an aves. Okay, that means they have a presence of feathers. This is another characteristic. They have a presence of feathers. Okay, clear? Their skin is dry. Okay, like a reptile, their skin is dry. That means it is without the oil gland, except a position. The oil gland is only present at the base of tail. This is the characteristic you can find. Otherwise, they possess the feather, their skin is dry, and the skin is dry due to an absence of oil glands on its skin. But yes, oil gland can be found at just the base of a tail. Okay, where in the rest of the portions, the oil gland is absent. So they have an aerial life. Okay. Next, here the aves. Now you know that here the aves that comes under the tetrapoda. Okay, clear? That means here they have a 4 limbs, but in these aves the 4 limb that is modified into okay, wings. It's modified into a wings, and the hind limbs are present. Okay, hind limbs are present. These hind limbs are also modified for you can say they are modified into a clothes. Okay, clear? Which is used for residing them onto trees, or that is used to for climbing, or they are used for such kind of a swimming activities, etc. So they have been modified into clothes to perform a specific activities. But here the most important thing is that these four limbs are modified into wings. Four limbs are modified into wings. So this is the characteristic we can find in the aves. Okay. Now the another characteristic why they can fly. So here there is a presence of endoskeleton. Their endoskeleton is mostly ossified, means calcified. So that means they have a presence of bones. But these bones are such that they are hollow in nature. Specifically, the long bones which are present in the aves are hollow in nature. Okay, and as they are hollow in nature, the weight of that bird is less, and so that's why it can easily fly. So this is the characteristic in the birds or in the aves. The hollow bones are present, which make it has a less weight, and that's why it can easily fly into a sky. So this is one of the adaptation what it performs, okay, for it. Now if you see its characteristic, then the heart is 4-chambered. Okay, up to previous class, the heart is only 3-chambered, which consists of 2 auricle, 1 ventricle. But in the aves, the heart is 4-chambered, that consists of 2 auricle and the 2 ventricle. This kind of a characteristic you can find into an aves. Okay, so this is a characteristic. Now when we talk about its digestive system, then here you can say that in a digestive system, as a mouth, they have a presence of a beak. A different modified type of a beak are present, which are useful for picking up the food, because they don't have a forelimb. Their forelimb have been modified into a wings, so they have a special structure for picking up the food. Okay, and that is a beak. Okay. In addition to a stomach, they have a certain other cavities. You can say that they have a presence of crop and the gizzard. These are the cavities that can be found in the digestive system. When we talk about the respiratory system, here they are respired through the presence of lungs. They respire through the presence of lungs. Here also the ear is present, and the ear is only represented by tympanic membrane. Ear is represented by tympanic membrane. Okay, clear? Next, when we talk about its a characteristic, then it is homeothermous. Homeothermous, that means they are able to maintain their body temperature. Whereas the reptiles and the aves, they are poikilotherms, means they are not able to maintain their body temperature constant. But here they are able to maintain their body temperature constant, so that's why we are calling it as homeothermous. Next characteristic what we talk about is respiration. Clear? Here the not respiration. Respiration we have already discussed. We will discuss the reproduction. Okay, we will discuss the reproduction. So in the reproduction, you can say that they are dioecious. Okay, the fertilization is internal. Okay, the fertilization is internal. The development is direct. Okay, and they are also oviparous animal. And you know the different examples of this aves like pigeon, crow, sparrow, etc. There are many. Okay, but there is one exception. Usually these are the animals which can fly, but there is a one exception. There is an ostrich. You can call it as flightless bird. It cannot fly. It is a ave, but it cannot fly. So that's why it's called as flightless bird. Okay, clear? So this is the characteristic. This is the exception. Okay, that can be found. So this all about the characteristic of aves. That means a bird. Now we are moving ahead with the last class, and here we finish the chapter, and that is the mammals. Okay, so we will discuss regarding the mammals. So let's start regarding the last class, and that is mammals. What is the main important characteristic of these mammals? The mammals are such that they have a presence of mammary gland. Okay, they have a presence of mammary gland. The functional mammary gland, remember the functional mammary gland is present into a female that is used for the nourishment of its offspring. This is the most important characteristic. As they have a presence of mammary gland, we are calling it as a mammals. And the functional mammary gland can be found in the females, okay, and that is used for the nourishment of its offspring, okay, in the form of a milk. So that's why we are calling it as mammals. Okay. Next characteristic, you will see that this includes a diverse variety of animals, and hence their habitat is also diverse. They can be found at lots of places. Even they can be found into snows. They can be found into mountains. They can be found onto lands. Even they can also found into an ocean. Even there are also some exceptional. They can also found in the sky, means they have an aerial life. So what ultimate point is that it includes a different variety of animals which have a diverse habitat. They can, in short, you can say that they can be found everywhere. Okay, so this is called as mammals. Okay. Now when we talk about its another important characteristic, so the another important characteristic, that means they possess the skin, and their skin, it possesses the hairs. The hairs are present on their skin. Okay, that's why we are calling them as mammals. Okay, they have also a presence of 4 limbs, and their limbs have been modified for climbing, running, walking, swimming, even sometimes flying, etc. Okay, so these are the modification of their limb. The limb has been modified to perform the certain functions. Okay, next. When we talk about it, then they are homeothermous. Homeothermous, that means they are able to maintain their body temperature constant. Like we are able to maintain our body temperature 37 degrees Celsius. We are mammals. Okay, because we are homeothermous. Okay, when we talk about its heart, the heart is 4-chambered. That means it consists of 2 auricles and 2 ventricles. Okay, this is the characteristic 4-chamber heart that is observed in these mammals. Okay, when we discuss the other characteristic, like regarding the ear, here up till now we are not able to see the external ear. This is external ear, but in case of these mammals, this external ear is present. The external ear is present, and as they are the external ear is present, they are mostly viviparous in nature. Okay. Next, when we talk about its respiration, how they respire. So here the respiration that occurs through the lungs. Which is the organ of respiration? It is the lungs. They respire through the lungs. Okay, so this mode of respiration that is observed into mammals. Okay. Next, another important characteristic we can find, it's regarding its reproduction. Here if you see that they are dioecious. Dioecious means the sexes are separate, male and female to different sex are present. Okay, so this is the dioecious. Second thing is that here the fertilization is internal, means it occurs inside body. So the fertilization is internal. The development of an offspring, it's a direct type of development that is observed in it. Next, they are viviparous animal. Viviparous animal, that means they gives a birth to a young one, like the human gives a birth to its young one, which look like a human. So they are viviparous. Whereas the previous classes, aves, reptiles, amphibians, they are oviparous. They lay down eggs. But here the most important characteristic, they are viviparous. Means they give a birth to a young one. They do not lay down egg. But there is one exception. The exception is the platypus. The platypus is an exception. Okay, this is an animal which is an exception. It is oviparous. Otherwise, all other are viviparous. They give a birth to a young one. Okay, so this is the reproduction characteristic you can find. There are lots of examples of mammals, like you can say a cat, dog, lion, tiger, even human being. Okay, these are the mammals which have a mammary glands. But I will tell you a certain special examples which you have to remember, because usually the mammals, they can be found on the land. But there are few examples which are confusing, but they are mammals. Like for an example, whale. Whale, it's look like a fish, but it is not a fish. It doesn't falls under the class Pisces, chondrichthyes or osteichthyes, but it is a mammal. Remember, whale is a mammal. Okay. The second example, some special example, is a bat. Okay. So remember these two examples. Okay, where it is a mammal. Okay, though it is found into the water. Okay. And the second example is bat. Bat, we are assuming that it is a bird, so it should fall under the aves, but it is not a aves. It is a mammal because it has a mammary gland. Okay, so these two special examples you have to remember. The other examples are well known, like cat, cow, buffalo, tiger, lion, and so and so. Barabar je? But whale is also a mammal, bat is also a mammal. Okay, and this is an exception which possess the oviparous. Means they lay down the egg. Otherwise, the mammals are viviparous. Okay, they give a birth to a young one. Okay, so here today we have discussed 3 classes. First, reptiles. Second, aves, and next is mammals. So here we are ending with the chapter number 4, Animal Kingdom. In the next session, we will start with another chapter. Till then, students, keep learning. Keep watching, like and subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching.